right, so if you see the truck there, we're on an adventure. This adventure is a little different. We bought a truck in Wyoming. All right, well, we made it to South Dakota. Behind me is the Bighorn Mountains. Might sound crazy, but we're starting the adventure to drive to Wyoming with a friend to pick this truck up. It's about 13 and a half to 14 hours away. Usually that's a pretty good distance out there. And yeah, it's gonna be an adventure. Have you ever bought a vehicle and then heard pretty decent hail chunks hit that new vehicle as you're driving it home?
Ugh, no.
Sounds like this. I like the bar there.
So down here right now.
Should we just be honest? It is 10:30 at night and we are filming together because this is the only time frame where we could like make this work.
Yeah.
Part of it ties into the story today. All right, so if you see the truck there, we're on an adventure. And this adventure started a little different. It started us with us buying a truck, but the timing of it really mattered because it's in Wyoming, 14 hours away. I have a friend driving from Minnesota to California, and he's gonna drop me off along the way. One of the reasons I'm tired, you have a good excuse. You're a mom with 4 kids. You've been busy running your kids around all day. You were running nonstop. What got this adventure kind of going, and it's kind of cool. We had this old Ford pickup, this 94 Ford, and it had a big flatbed on it. And what we really liked with the truck is it was big enough to heavy enough to haul a lot of little things around the farm, you know, compared to semis. Last summer, the motor actually let go on me. But you'll be happy for this. While I was bringing stuff we don't use to an auction to sell.
You were decluttering, yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's certain aspects of minimalizing that I like. I like cleaning the yard. So anyways, we were literally doing that. So the truck dies at an auction place, right? And
it was afraid it was next. It's like, nope, not going out that way.
The thought that ran through my mind was, why don't I just bring the title down and we'll just sell it, right?
Right.
We actually like this truck. We brought it back home. This last winter we ripped into it because we thought maybe it could be something simple. What we ultimately think is it spun a cam bearing, basically. Simple version, motor is shot. All right. Fast forward to this last week. Dad, I just woke up and I'm just out of it. And he's like, hey, I got something I think you should take a look at. And I'm like, okay. And Dad's normally a Ford guy, which is funny because you're wearing a Camaro shirt right now. But all of a sudden he's like, hey, this Dodge with the flatbed is for sale on an auction. It's going really cheap. And I'm like, okay. So as you can see, I got the iPad still there. For some reason it's taking forever to close out, and I don't know why. But it's been over an hour, which, well, it's just kind of life. Because I've learned this lesson with Dad. You always got to ask, like, where is it?
Oh,
right?
Yeah, number one question.
Now, it was in Wyoming, which 14 to almost 15 hours away. Not necessarily a deal breaker because I love that area. All right, I might have spoke too soon. It just closed, and it says you are the leading bidder, so I think we won it. Yes. I'm poor. We end up buying it, but also that happened last week, and ties into why I was on board with buying a truck from Wyoming. We have a really good friend who came back from California because he grew up here to visit his parents, and he drove, and he was driving back to California the following weekend.
It was meant to be.
Well, kind of, with a 3 and a half hour detour. All right, well, we made it to South Dakota, and so far, the trip's going good. I love this flat land. Kind of wish where we lived it was this flat. Pretty nice farmland. Part of getting it back home, because it's like 15 hours one way, 14 and a half.
Do you factor that into the cost, or is it just kind of like, road trip?
Here's where the trade-off is. Now, living this close to the metro, they use salt sand on the roads in the wintertime. I get this question asked all the time. Hey, that's a really clean truck. Where'd you buy it? And they usually say out of state. And then they always say, well, why didn't you buy it around here? Because usually vehicles 10 to 15 years old around here are rusted, especially with all the new electronics that are on vehicles. We've just learned that expense going out to get it and bringing it back, it's about a wash because you kind of always seem to, lose it another way. We are doing actually pretty good. We were out in Spearfish, South Dakota. We're just about on the border of Wyoming, and truck's running really good. The trip's gone really good. I mean, we've had so many times in life I've had those crazy trips where just things go wrong. and I'm just happy the first part of this trip has gone really, really well. Now, my friend who's in the truck and is dropping me off, he lives in California, so he grew up in Minnesota, and he drove just perfect timing. Last week, he drove from California to Minnesota to see his parents, and then I ended up buying this truck, and then it worked out where he's dropped me off in Wyoming to pick it up. But that truck right there, I think it was last Tuesday or Wednesday, we were sucking the fuel out of it because my friend in the truck had to put a fuel pump in. So that's why, yeah, that's why we're just like, okay, it's going good. Let's hope it keeps going that way. Yeah. So that's why we were looking at a truck out in Wyoming. Is like, hey, it's rust-free. And actually called the dealership. It had a brand new transmission put into it. And then they just used it for deliveries. And so like the story was good. Anytime you're bidding on something, you're kind of like, okay, I hope what the person told me is actually true. And they're not just telling me what I want to hear, right? All right, so we're going to speed through this. All right, so everything's still going really good. Dodge is running really, really good. And we are actually in Buffalo, Wyoming. And you can't really see it, but there actually are mountains behind me. And that is so cool. Like, that's the only thing Minnesota don't have. It's got good farmland. It's got some cool things to see, but it does not have mountains. And it is definitely cool to get out and see the mountains. So we're about 3.5 hours. Oh, that one's going uphill. That one looks a lot easier.
Yeah, that one was going way uphill.
That just looks a lot easier to take. We're about 3 to 4 hours away from Powell, Wyoming. And so hopefully the mountains only get bigger. It should be up by around the Bighorn area. Kind of excited just to keep going on the road trip because it's been a lot of fun. So we buy the truck, we get out there, and it's kind of cool. My friend had his dogs with him, so it's funny. Like, I'm not used to dogs on a leash. Never had a dog on a leash.
No, we have farm dogs. That's
yeah,
it, right?
The only time I ever had a dog on the leash, I actually had like a breakaway chain for a piece of equipment attached to Kona, because like all the little plastic fiber ones, she would just chew through them. Like, she would just chomp through it, take off running.
She's a hound dog, man.
Yeah. So I just literally had just a safety chain that I came walking in the vet to, and I'm like, don't judge me, you know? Anyways, friend's like, hey, can you watch the dogs? Yeah, no problem. And I didn't realize, like, there's like these little brakes on the tethers. Well, anyways, the dogs see another dog, and they're small, and it goes running towards this German Shepherd. I didn't realize how much force they had. Here I am chasing the dog with the leash, running across towards this German Shepherd, and I eventually get it stopped, and everything's cool. But yes, I did not know you have farm dogs. I've never had a dog on the leash. That's a simple version of that story. We rolled in Sunday night into Wyoming. And like I said, after about 14-15 hour drive, the country is beautiful. We actually kind of took a little more scenic route because it was actually kind of neat. He's a farm kid. I'm a farm kid. So we were actually looking at all the different styles of farming. They actually do some sugar beets. It was actually really interesting. And I had to wait till Monday morning because the dealership wasn't going to just like throw the keys in the truck. Yeah. So I had to prove that I bought it, all that stuff. So I was like, oh.
So you called ahead to say like, hey, can you just leave the keys in the truck? I'm getting in Sunday night. I want to turn and burn, right?
Yep.
You wanted to be like practically back to Minnesota by Monday morning.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah, nope. That didn't happen. So if you can see, I got the truck behind me, and we made it safely. So this is the first time we've gotten to lay eyes on it, and overall, pretty happy. I think it's going to be a really nice fit for what we needed to do.
I think it was a blessing in disguise.
It was
fun.
fun.
On your trip a little
Thanks
bit.
for the ride. It was fun. It just, yeah, it did. Get a hotel room. Next morning, I'm at the dealership. It's kind of funny. It was 1.3 miles from the hotel room to the dealership. Okay. And I didn't really feel like trying to find a Uber in Powell, Wyoming.
Did you walk?
Oh, good morning. It's kind of funny. If you notice, I'm walking down the street. My hotel was 1.3 miles from the John Deere dealership. This worked out really nice. My friend last night dropped me off at the hotel. I'm just walking down now. And we're gonna do all the paperwork and get the truck picked up. So I just walked in.
That's awesome.
I was like, all right, we're gonna get those steps in today, you know?
Yeah, because then you were sitting on your butt in a truck for 15 hours again. So
I get to the dealership and the guys are like, how'd you get here? I'm like, I walked.
Like, it's still possible, even in 2025. You can do that.
Right? Got my car keys, got all the paperwork done. We're good. Walking back to the truck now. So the sales guys were telling me they were going to miss that truck because they said it was very handy, and that's the way it worked. That's what I'm hoping to. That flatbed. Over the years, we just know you're not gonna win any style points with it, but they're so handy. You just take the skid loader and set anything you want on it, strap it down, and go. Get the truck. I had to run back to the hotel room, clean all my stuff out, and the typical Monday morning stuff, emails, phone calls, right? You same thing you face. Got everything going, and then it was kind of funny because I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, hey, there's no real emergencies. And then Powell, Wyoming is right next to Cody, Wyoming. Before we go back to Minnesota, there's a little town just down the road called Cody, Wyoming. And we went here as a kid, and about 20 some miles from there. And so we're gonna make a quick little run through Cody first. just because we can. Just because it's Wyoming and the mountains and everything, and so, yeah, we're gonna go do that. And okay. Cody, Wyoming is right next to Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
So even though I should have headed east, I ended up heading west, going through Cody, and then I got within like 15 miles of Yellowstone just because I knew the mountains started getting really cool there.
Yeah.
We used to go out to Wyoming, what, 2 or 3 times with mom and dad? Growing up. Camping. So much fun. Actually, it was fun because I got to pass the rodeo grounds that we went to as a kid.
Yeah.
And oh, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I know I was extending my trip out, but trust me, the whole time I'm driving west and I'm like, nope, not yet. Next, another couple miles. Next turnaround, next turnaround.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm like, okay, we gotta head back. Well, as you can see, we are definitely not in Minnesota. We got X amount of miles to go before we're home.
Starting route to home. For about 24 miles, continue straight.
And so far, the truck's running fantastic. You just don't get that view right there in Minnesota. We're about 30 miles right now outside of Yellowstone National Park, and I'm gonna turn around and start heading back home. When I woke up this morning, I knew I had to head east to get back to Minnesota, but instead I wanted to head west just so I could see the mountains. It's about 12:30 right now, and I don't regret it, but we do got to turn around so I can start heading back to Minnesota. But man, look at that scenery. This is so cool. I will tell you, if you've never been on road trips, they're long, they're draining. But once you push past that point, you get to see stuff that, you know, you wouldn't see just sitting at home. So I'll tell anyone, just get out there, go plan a trip, have some fun, have a little bit of an adventure, and enjoy it. Start heading back towards Minnesota. I wanted to go this scenic pass through the Bighorns. Kind of the way it is, it's this really neat mountain pass, and it's gorgeous. This is just so cool, I had to stop. The mountains are just so cool. I mean, they're so cool. You can see we're overlooking a valley there. It's going really good. We're about 70, 80 miles out of Sheridan, Wyoming, and we're just on basically on the west end of the Bighorn Mountains. Oh, it's just a fun trip. Actually, climbing up here, everything's running nice and cool with the truck. Just because it is a slightly used but new to me truck, I wanted to pull over, just make sure everything was running cool. Everything looks great. Temperatures in the truck are really good. I seen when we were doing, I don't know if you can see way down there, the road we kind of wandered up this way and then come around here and then we parked, and then now it's actually going to go up in front of me, and then we're going to climb. If you see that line going up the side of the mountain, we're going to be climbing that elevation next. Well, just the fact that it is new to me but slightly used truck, I wanted to just make sure, get out, make sure everything's running good. I know if you're used to mountains, this ain't no big deal. But when you're not used to mountains, yeah, it's just kind of a fun adventure. I don't say it's nerve-wracking. Let's just say you're aware of all the things that could go wrong, but are grateful nothing is going wrong. So I'm gonna get back on the road and we'll get going. But this was just so cool, I had to pull over. But the whole time I'm going through the Bighorns, I see these dark blue clouds to the south. And the thing that I thought was interesting, I'm cruising through the Bighorns because there's so many loop-de-loos and switchbacks. It's hard to make any time. But I'm looking at this storm and I'm like, wow, those are dark blue clouds. You know, you think eventually I'd start getting ahead of them. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we get down to the Bighorns. Everything's going good. All right. So do you see this dark blue section, this rain? I've been following this for like 60 miles. I've been just north of it. And it's been awesome. We just got through the Bighorns. That's been cool to see all day. Truck's running fantastic. I'm actually sad to see them in my rearview mirror. I know if you're from the Midwest, you just don't get that background. But that's why you got to get out and go see it, because if you see those mountains in the video, it's cool. You see them in real life, it's just that much cooler. And you start heading pretty much like southeast, because I had to get through Sheridan down to Rapid City. Wanted to stop, get some diesel fuel, and actually get something to eat too. And I also had to pull out the radar. If you look to the south here, kind of like the southeast, we got blue clouds. And if we turn around this way, you can see to the northwest we have darker clouds. And I heard the warning on the radio, the warning for dangerous weather. So I wanted to spend a little time on the iPad, just make sure that I wasn't driving into the storm. Believe me, I've done that before. A lot of times, if you can just give it 20 to 15 minutes, you can usually get around the worst of the storm. Oh, except for when you're in the mountains and there's no place to go. Me and Adam found that out back in 2021 when we went to get Rado, our favorite 1979 Ford F-250. We got caught in multiple little microbursts like snowstorms, and we couldn't get out of it. Well, after you learn that lesson, you find out, like, hey, you know what? You hear that warning on the radio? Maybe you should stop and just pull over, check out the iPad, and make sure everything's good to go. In this case, it is, so we are in good shape. I'm going to get back on the road here. GPS has me just a little bit around 11 hours worth of drive time, and from Sheridan to back where I live, South Minneapolis. We're gonna get on the road and see how far we get. And the whole time I'm watching the storm and I'm watching these storm clouds, and then I hear it.
At 25 miles an hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles an hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail.
Okay, I hear the first warning and I'm like, yep, I know the storm's coming. I know it's gonna be pretty much about Rapid City. And I'm like, okay, I can see the storm ahead of me. I keep seeing the clouds get darker, darker, darker.
So are you thinking like, if I can just get there, then I can...
No,
I was... just think you're gonna not even hit it?
I was paying attention to it because I was like, my goal was to just be on the backside of it.
Okay, got it.
So I knew it was basically gonna kind of come across the road this way. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're just gonna hang back. I actually started slowing down. The speed limit, one thing that's awesome about Wyoming and South Dakota, speed limit's 80 miles an hour. Heck yeah.
Like, there's nothing to see. Keep going.
There's lots to see. It's just like, yeah, less people. Like, this is cool. I'm coming up on the storm and I'm like, okay, I knew I was coming up on it, but I was hoping like it's just kind of keep moving along.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I hear it. And I look and here's the first hail chunk hitting the windshield and I'm like, oh, heck no. I have a background in insurance restoration. I drive a lot of flooded houses. I have customers that have watched this channel and they know me as the basement drying guy. So when I tell you I've dealt with insurance companies, I've dealt with insurance companies. Now I have a brand new truck. That was actually one of the things I was doing in the hotel room, getting everything on the insurance, etc. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I knew we were covered there. What I did not want to do, I used to not want to deal with the insurance company. So I started hearing the hail hit the truck and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I look behind me, and this is one thing that's awesome about not being like Minneapolis. There's like no cars, and I'm like, I knew I was right on the fringe of the storm. So I put it in reverse, and I start backing up, and I backed up about a mile.
Oh
and,
my gosh.
Oh yeah, like, oh, dude, I was destined to save this truck, right? Like, no! Like, no! Well, so then all of a sudden some cars pull off, and it's funny because I'm watching all the cars pass me, and they're hitting the brake lights, and I'm like, I guess they get more in the storm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm a truck driver. Let's see if we can't back around these cars. So I backed around these cars, and I backed up another half mile.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I just, like, when I tell you,
You're doing anything possible just to stay away from it.
Yes! But there's something else going on. Okay, so you know me, right? Like, up to this point in life, I have always found, like, the wreck repairables, the cheapest trucks possible. Usually, if I was buying a vehicle, it was something was wrong with it, and then this, you've heard so many times come out of my mouth. I can fix that.
Yeah.
Not this truck. This truck was the first truck I ever bought that I was like, it's outside of Dad's side-by-side. It's the most expensive vehicle I ever bought.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it. There was nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm like, no, salvation of the Dodge. Here we go, back up, swerve around cars. I'm sure there's cars just going, what in the heck is this guy doing? And I kept waiting for a sheriff to pull him behind me, and I'd tell him the exact same story.
Yep.
I do not, like, this is not good advice. Do not back up on the freeway. Have better insurance in vehicles you don't care about, okay?
Right.
But luckily, finally the storm lets up. Well, that was an adventure. When I was about 20, we had baseball-sized hail come through our hometown. And it was a nightmare. So the one thing I got to see firsthand what the carnage would do. All right, I knew this storm was coming. I have been following it. I watched it get super dark this whole time frame. The last 5 miles, the radio alarm that played said it was south of Sturgis, which I knew I was right going through Sturgis. So I was watching my exit. I was at exit 40. I'm like, okay, we should be right behind it. And I had slowed down. The speed limit 75 here, and I had slowed down to about 65 because I was just watching it, monitoring it. I knew I was going to be running into it. I think I got out of most of it. I don't know what was left or what was done as far as damage to the truck, but it was just amazing how the cars ahead of me just stopped. I backed up, a couple of them backed up. This storm here hit with some fury, that's for sure. Oh, hopefully there's no crazy dents. I mean, it is a work truck. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna sit here for a minute. And so talk about running head on into a storm like this. I've done this a couple times. One thing I'll tell you, whenever you're on a road trip, pay attention to the weather because you don't know what's gonna happen. Whew. And I think the hail's over now, but it is still a mess. When we had the baseball and grapefruit sized hail come through my hometown when I was 20, it actually took out windshields, like a lot of them. Like, I mean, that was something else. So the fear that I always have is something like that would happen, and then, you know, okay, if it takes your windshield out, then you're kind of exposed, and this truck's a single cab, so there's no real good place to go. It's not like you can crawl in the back. So that's why I just kind of figured, oh, we'll just back up here, we'll definitely just back up. Oh, all right, heart rate's coming down a little bit. I could tell how fast the color in the clouds were changing, and I could tell how fast the storm was moving, and it was gaining strength. Luckily we made it through. I got into Rapid City. I actually decided to say, screw it, let's just get a hotel room. And actually, when I pulled in the hotel, I was able to see, like, hey, cool, no damage was done to the truck, which is awesome. But yes, we backed up over 1.5 miles to try to salvage the
awesome.
truck.
I love it.
All right, going on 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's see if we 3 o'clock in the morning, and just gonna jump in the truck and take off, and yeah, see if we can't make it back to Minnesota. One of the reasons, like we kind of hinted at a little bit, so we bought this truck as a replacement because we, on the farm and with all the different stuff we do, we actually missed the giant flatbed that was on it, and so that's the biggest reason why we were like, hey, we just want that back. Okay. The other thing is the last handful of years, we've actually started to go through different parts of the farm, actually going through stuff that we weren't using anymore, trying to sell it, trying to not necessarily clean up the farm, but basically like clean up the farm.
Well, and this is the first time you guys have had even any breathing room, I feel like, to even be like, okay, we're not using that, we're still using this, like to even kind of like,
yeah, that's one thing that tied into a lot, and just the way what we're doing, the way we do things now, it's all different than what we were doing 5 to 10 years ago. I mean, it's all drastically different. Okay. One thing is we're not traveling nearly as much. We actually, after before COVID, we actually started backing out of some work, and we're probably spreading about a third less than what we used to spread, which actually is a good thing because it makes my life way easier. But that's one of the things too. It's like you're around a little more, or then you just see, okay, when we were on the road or we were spread in Iowa or Wisconsin, cool, we use these. One of the things was a fuel tank. And so actually it's funny, we get the truck back home on Tuesday. Yesterday I was just dead to the world, dead to the world. Yep. But today we actually loaded the truck up. A friend of ours was just like, hey, I got nothing going on. And I'm like, I'll put you to work, come on over. Yeah. So we actually loaded the truck twice this, not once, but actually twice this afternoon. Awesome. And brought some stuff to an auction, and that just stuff that we weren't using.
That was felt so good.
It was nice knowing, what I really liked is, going back to buying the trucks that were deals of the day, what happens is you never really get all the bugs worked out of them. And I don't regret anything we had to do at that time frame to do it. You know, I don't think, I was looking at the service trucks in the yard. I think there's only one other truck that we bought that was basically like ready to go. Okay. Everything else was either needed a motor, needed a tranny, needed front end work, etc. All right, so you see the new truck there? See all the stuff on it? Drove it in the yard on Tuesday. On Thursday, it is taking its first load to an auction. Yes. What was nice today is when I could just send somebody down an hour away to an auction facility, drop some stuff off, and I didn't have to worry about them.
Yeah, you weren't getting any phone calls. So, I mean, you got to drive it, over 15 hours. Did it run well, or did you have any concerns while you were driving it?
Yeah, it might be the lowest mileage vehicle I've ever driven or ever bought too, because it only had 118,000 on it, and I'm that's like broken in.
I know.
Hey, our one Super Duty,
everything's over 100,000, right? When it enters the farm. The
one quad cab Super Duty we bought it with like 297 and 1,000 miles in 2015. Then the odometer quit working for when it turned 300, it quit working, and then that was like that for like 7 years, and then like last year it started working again. It's like 306,000 miles on it. Yeah. No, so we ran the gamut on that stuff. Yeah. So no, to me it was just more like today, just like, hey, I don't gotta worry about it. I just drove this truck. We're good. Adam actually, it was funny, yesterday, Wednesday, the day we were here, I was kind of dying. Adam brought the truck in, changed oil filter, fuel filter, just kind of the basics on it. Yeah. And but yeah, today just knowing, hey, we can load you, go. It has toolboxes on it already. You know, it's like we were telling them, like, hey, just put the straps in the toolbox. We'll just leave this truck set up that way. So it made life really easy. But today, Friday, I'm getting geared up because we actually bought a second truck out in Gettysburg, South Dakota, which is 7 hours away, right? Yep. So tomorrow I gotta do a little truck, and then we're getting on the road to go get that truck.
So you and Adam are gonna road trip?
Actually, Trevor's coming with me too. Oh, yep, my godson's coming with me. Yeah. Yeah, no, so kind of looking forward to it. Really kind of fun. Oh my gosh, this is just sometimes just like those power weeks that you gotta power through.
How long a drive is that?
7-ish, yeah. So right in there.
You're trying to do it in one day?
Yeah, what we're gonna do is take off tomorrow, get a hotel room, and then try to be there at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So we should be back home Saturday night. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. But so the other funny thing, well, not funny, but like early on we bought this little F-150, and I'll never forget this truck. because it's been around since 2010.
Okay.
And we bought it out of Oregon, drove it back. Again, it was rust-free, but now it's just the
that
body
was
shot.
a long time ago. Yeah.
But I drove the wheels off this truck. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'd be doing drying equipment out to houses that flooded and different stuff like that, and pulling air compressors around the metro, doing mold damage, soda blasting projects, and so it's sad to see this truck going, but it's time just to
That's
update.
a new season, huh?
I kind of feel that way. I kind of feel that way with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just new chapter of life.
Yeah.
Number one thing that for me is just I used to just sit in the shop and work on stuff till 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I love doing it. Now, as there's just more like what I just noticed is like kind of noticed it rolling into COVID, but definitely coming out of COVID. I spend way more time in the office than ever before.
Yeah,
and even with all the tech, the iPads, the laptops, the nice computers, I still just spend more time in the office now than I ever have. And probably less time in the shop. And so when I am in the shop, it's usually working on tractors and trucks and that kind of stuff. So that's what I noticed. Stuff I used to love to do. Well, you got to grow up some point.
Yeah.
So I just buy trucks 15 hours away.
Not so bad either.
Hope the hail don't destroy them.